the Shop Jersey Shore podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Mizuka. Today, I'm here with my guest, Robert Gerrity from Immediate Appliance. This podcast is brought to you by On Your Mark Designs. We're a digital marketing agency in Bayville, New Jersey. We're here to help you find the best businesses and services in the area to help you shop Jersey Shore. Please stay tuned at the end for a giveaway at the end of the show. We'll have you answer a question about something we talk about today, and we'll send the winner a gift card before the next episode. Wherever you're watching or listening, please subscribe and follow this show. We air a new episode every week. And now for my guest, thank you for joining me, Rob.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Tell us about yourself and what your business is called and what you love about what you do.
All right. My name is Rob Gerrity.
Gerrity.
No, I don't want to be that guy correcting you because you said Gerrity, whatever, just so people that know me, whatever. No, the last name is Gerrity.
Yes.
I'm the owner of Immediate Appliance. Been in business for probably close to 38 years now. Company's called Immediate Appliance Service. We do HVAC. We do appliance repair. We're doing maintenance. We're located in Freehold, but we're doing Mercer County. Ocean County was one of our biggest counties. We have 3 technicians that live in Ocean County, Toms River, Brick, 4 technicians actually, Lenoka Harbor, and Seaside. So we cover that area pretty well. We're emergency service. We do everything from refrigerators, dryers, washers, everything in the home except microwaves. We do some if they're built in with the oven, but pretty much all your appliances, all your household appliances, your ranges, your cooktops, and what have you. Like I said, we've been in business for over almost about 38 years now. Love working down Jersey Shore, helping people down that way. I used to go down there vacation, spread out into that area probably about a decade and a half ago, actually. And we do Middlesex, we do Monmouth, we do Mercer, Somerset, and some parts of Union. So we have a pretty big reach, all of Central Jersey, and now we're going down towards the Forkett River, Bayville. So we're pretty stretched out, but we have 10 technicians on the road, so we cover the area very efficiently. So.
That's great. So your headquarters is in Freehold, but you said you do emergency and same day service. So all these trucks that you've got out on the road, they're stocked to help people that same day.
Oh, absolutely. The location in Freehold is a 6,000 square foot location that houses a lot of parts. But each van, the technicians will leave from their home. They're pretty much based from their home, with vans fully stocked. So the fully stocked is pretty much all your basic stuff, from igniters to pumps and things that go day to day. Right now it's about 80 to 85, well, actually about 85, 90% same day repair, because we do come with the majority, but if it isn't, it's very quick. We have depots that we use throughout the East Coast. We do a lot with big companies like Marcone that has every part you can imagine to encompass. These are pretty big companies if we don't have it ourselves. And like I said, we have, 16-foot ceilings. So we go straight up 6,000 square feet. And we carry a lot of parts, a lot of reconditioned parts if needed. If the parts are obsolete, no longer available, which we run into a lot with companies. Years ago, they would have to have 5 years. They would have to make sure that they made that part. If the machine broke down, I don't know what it is now, but it seems like it's down to a year or 2 years. I'm seeing a lot of new products that
appliances have changed so much over the years. I know that appliances I had years ago had a couple of dials and buttons on them. Now there are digital screens and monitors and lots more bells and whistles. So how do you stay up to date as the appliances themselves change? How are you staying up to date?
We have in the facility. I have a training facility. Actually, at night we train. I actually have something coming up this Thursday night for 3 hours on some of the new stuff that came out. Mostly hands-on is the best training you possibly can get. So I actually take in things that are damaged in transit. So we get them and we could physically go through it with the technicians. We go with manufacturers. We have a lot of groups that we belong to. So we have all the data that we need, service bulletins, anything from tech wiring, schematics. They all, like I said, they kind of all are the same machines that they were when I first started, just dialed up. And
Got it.
as far as I'm concerned, if you have older machines, I am the guy. I stayed in this business because I'm more of like keeping things out of the landfill. If people talk about EPA and they talk about leaving the earth for our children. It doesn't stop at electric cars. When you take a refrigerator or something, and somebody's talking about pennies on the dollar of what you're spending for, forget now because the electric bill is out of control, but it's not that big of a meter where you're going out and buying a new machine where once you start doing that, you're pretty much taking things that would last 10, 20, 30 years, turning it into 2, 3, 4, in my opinion. My humble
repair rather than replace. It makes sense. You see information about there are no tariffs on thrift store clothes. So think about buying secondhand things. So same thing when it comes to repairing appliances, right? You don't have to worry about those costs and you're keeping it out of the landfill.
Absolutely. And that's what I did even during COVID when people couldn't find anything. It's funny, when I bought the building that I'm in now, I bought it with the intentions to give more services to my customers. And that would be pack it with appliances. But in that short period of time of 5 years, 6 years, I've seen the appliances gotten so bad because they didn't have chips. They didn't have certain things. I don't know what they did. I'm not here to speculate what manufacturers do or what have you, but I've never been on the bandwagon for the way they were going back when I first started. When I first started seeing computer boards sitting on top of the door of this is gonna date me here, on a dishwasher door, seeing a computer board on top of it, water, computer. To me, back when I first started the dials or whatever, there was nothing wrong with them. When I walk into houses now and I see appliances that have they're analog, they're mechanical, I tell people don't ever get rid of them. But during
hang
COVID,
on to it, right?
I probably had 100 appliances that I rebuilt for people that I got out to them because they couldn't even get an appliance. To this day, they still call me and thank me. They still have it. They still have a washer that I rebuilt that somebody.
So these are refurbished items. Yes. Absolutely.
And if you could get something that somebody's going to guarantee, look, when I refurbish something, I guarantee it for 6 months. That's half of what the manufacturer, sometimes a year, if depending on the make, the model, the whole bit. And people buy them. There's such a market for that because people know, like myself, probably yourself, or whatever, with cars. I actually bought a 1994 Ford Bronco during COVID when I started sitting there because it's just all analog. It's all mechanical. There's nothing computerized in it. And I love it. I have it where I'm going to have to rebuild some of it, but all during COVID, I was using it. Drives like it's probably one of my best driving vehicles. That's scary. The least problematic of the stuff that I drive, that I have, and we have 20 vehicles. It's always one of the vans going in to
something you can work on in the driveway. It's not something.
Yeah, you can work on yourself, and you can tune it up. You can do all these different things to it, and it's just a lot more reliable than these computerized ones. When the check engine light comes on, it's just like flu-like symptoms, just like even with your appliance. People think, oh, here's the error code. I have this error code F1 E3 or whatever, let's say, for that this is what it tells me on Google. Well, when I get there, it's just like flu-like symptoms. I have to go trace back everything that goes past that to see, is that true? Is this exactly what's really going on? And half the time it isn't. It's just giving you like a precursor of like, okay, it's not pumping out fast enough. That could be the pressure switch not regulating how much water's in it. Could be a clogged screen. It's a hypothetical analogy. It's just like I just miss all the old stuff. And I do see a lot. I just rebuilt a machine yesterday for a customer. There was a 25-year-old machine that needed a seal in the unit or whatever. And honestly, when we took it apart, it looked almost brand new. So she kept it in good shape or whatever. And I've been doing a lot of that. I still prefer to do that. They gave it to me because a lot of guys, it's an older unit where a couple of my guys know these types of things, but I love getting involved with them because I know it's going to be there for another 10, 15, 20 years if they put a couple bucks in here and there. You're using it every day. Investment. People don't realize that. It's an investment. Your dryer is an investment. Take care
You
of it.
maintain your car. You got to
Don't
maintain your appliances.
take
Yep.
the screens out. Don't throw, if you want to put in 10 towels, put in 8. Give it a little bit of a break. I mean, you want it to last, and don't be upset when it breaks down. But if you maintain your stuff, and if you have older stuff, especially pre-COVID, I think you're in a lot better shape than when you just have buying something, a year ago, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. So
when it comes to your customers, I'm wondering commercial, residential. It sounds like you're talking about individuals that you enjoy helping. Tell me about the customers that you enjoy working with.
nice customers. I love nice customers.
Yes,
I love
yes.
I love educated customers. I love customers that appreciate value in having a company that actually will come out. We can sell appliances. I mean, I have a buying group that I do with. If your appliance is too far gone, I'll direct you to a company that I've been using for probably 30 years or what have you. I have a couple outlets that I could send you to get the best price. I will also give you the information that I have of what's the best, I think, for that particular appliance that I see the least amount of, because we do thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs per year. So we are the Consumer Reports,
Yes.
first
My
floor.
mother loved Consumer Reports.
I honestly, I never in my life agreed with 90% of what they were saying, what I was running into, which is funny because
Okay.
it's an unbiased magazine. But listen, I only know by my experience. My experience is, like
Real life, boots on the ground.
on the ground in the home, finding out how the people are using the machine, make sure that they're not a human error, they're not overloading it. But that's where you get, the technicians that we have the experience, and we use all of our experience. My experience is 38 years. I have a couple of technicians with 15, 18. I have technicians with 10, but we all work as a group. And we all, like, if somebody gets stumped on something, they call one of the technicians that may have seen this or what have you. We keep a big database on things that we run into or whatever. So it's always, we're working with on an AI right now that's going to take it all together and put it into one form for us, because we have all different types of, which is now we have independent companies out there that have all kinds of data that helps for independent companies going out to people's homes to fix, because you have a lot of communication with computer boards, and it gets very difficult to diagnose today in today's standards. It's not like looked at your multimeter. These are very complex. When you see one computer on the front of the machine, 90% of the time there's a few other ones hanging around on the motor, on the rear. So they all communicate with one another. They're processing boards, they're motor control boards. So it's a lot more complex than when somebody just looks at the control board and thinks it's just one board.
Well, and with what you are dealing with, when people call you and need your help for appliances, it's probably with the appliances that you manage for them. It's not it would be nice to have this working. It's important to their daily lives to have these things working. So they're probably pretty stressed and want help ASAP, right?
If you think each van is probably equipped with, $30,000-$40,000 in parts, and those parts are sitting in for when they pull up to the house to try to have this thing done at the same day. It's amazing. And also we're able to see in especially different areas, because you'll see a lot of the same refrigerator because people are buying from Lowe's or from Home Depot, whatever. You'll see the same make, and you see the same problem. So you have these parts, and statistically we'll look at what we're moving in the north, the south, and we'll stock them accordingly.
That's so interesting.
You would need 5 trailers to pull up to our house to have every part, but a lot of things are fixed too with just labor. A lot of things are fixed with bad, like wiring, burnt wiring, or I can't be positive, but it's close to 90% of the same day, because it's best for us not to make a second trip, and it's best to try to get it up and running. But you said what makes me, I love working with customers like that. Honestly, I deal with a lot of older customers, and they want my opinion, and that means a lot to me, because when they trust, it's nice to them to ask, what do you think? I personally, I'll tell you from my experience, I always say fix. If I come to your house and I look at, start taking it apart, I see oil dripping out of here, I see this happening there, I will direct you to buy a new one. I hate it because I'm just so pro about the older stuff, and I know how much more less, but sometimes you do have to bite the bullet, and if it's too far gone, we're honest enough to tell you, you got to get a new one. We'll send you to a, well, you can buy it wherever you want, but at least you have somebody in the background to say, okay, look at this particular brand. It's a decent unit. You might get a little bang for your buck out of. I don't
So
want to
before you said that your customer took good care of her machine and it's a good idea to maintain them along the way, is that something that you can advise the customer to do on a regular basis, or should they come to you for maintenance before they need a repair?
Certain things, we have a home maintenance thing that we're rolling out. We rolled it out years ago and we got very busy, whatever, but we're rolling it back out again because you see a lot of people don't have the time to do it. And I'll be the first one to tell you, like, my condenser coil gets dirty and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, because by the time I get done with this whole thing, I'm spent time, you go home, you don't, like, the painter has chip paint all over his house. He doesn't want to paint his own house. That's just the way it's the norm. But yeah, people I think they want to, but I just think they don't have the time or they forget. But that little stuff like cleaning out the condenser of your refrigerator because you have a dog, a cat, or maybe you don't even have it. It has a fan that sucks in dirt all day long. So it's going to be dirty. Warmer days, humid days, even though your house is rocking at 72, well, wasn't a couple times this summer. We got pretty hot. But that refrigerator, when you open that door and that humidity gets in that refrigerator, it's working hard. Something that's prone to break, it'll break. If you can clean your condenser, you clean out your lint trap every time you use your dryer, you blow out your vent once a year. A lot of stuff you can do yourself, but if you don't want to do it, we're the guys to do it. You get a 20% discount if on any appliance repair that's in that group that goes from the refrigerator to your HVAC to your washer, dryer, dishwasher. We do the maintenance on everything, and we come out to your house and show you. You'll be mind boggled on how even your dishwasher, that you think that underneath the sump that there's food still there, that you think it's gone. You know what I mean? So things need to be cleaned and maintained. And you when you buy your appliance, you're not going to remember that. You take your appliance, you stick it in, you go about your merry way, and you rely on it until it breaks down. So yeah, there's a lot of maintenance you could do yourself. Absolutely. But we do have a program too. But I would say it starts with the homeowner. Clean your trap out. Even if you don't want to, just get it done, because every time that thing gets in there and gets full of lint, it's pushing it back into the bottom part of it. It's going through the vent, making it starve for air. So it's a smart thing to maintain your appliances. Absolutely.
Yes. So a couple of times now, you've said that you've been doing this a long time. So tell me a little bit about the history of your company. How did you get into the industry and start everything here?
Very strange. I was actually repossessing cars. I was boxing. I was a 19-year-old kid, and just thinking, what do I, everybody wants to be a cop, an astronaut, a firefighter, all this stuff, and it's still there. But then you have real life coming in. I was working at Merrill Lynch for a bit because I wanted to be a broker. So I went from repossessing cars. I was like, this isn't for me. Got into Merrill Lynch, and the funny thing about it was that I actually was working in Somerset. I was living in Obert's at the time. Got into an accident. Car's gone. Can't get to work. Had to find something that was close. I decided on a recommendation to, why don't you look into like appliance repair? Right away, I was offended. I was like, because I thought toasters, I thought blenders. I'm like, what do you? I would be like right away. You say appliance. Nobody knows there's a magical person that comes out and fixes your washer or your dryer or your dishwasher. But that's the whole thing with this industry, that people don't realize it. We are electricians, plumbers, mechanics, all wrapped up, handyman wrapped up into one little
industry.
Exactly. So we have to fix leaks. We have to fix all certain things. But I got into it just because I needed to find a job close to home where I was able to get to this location. I was carrying a toolbox for, God rest his soul, a great guy, older guy. He was probably in his 60s when he was doing this. I was driving his truck. We'd go to people's houses. It's just something that I just picked up. It was very easy and natural because I used to fix things. I tinker with stuff, and it was something that was like the instant gratification of fixing something for somebody right away, taking a problem and having a solution like right away. I watched this guy do this thing. I was mesmerized. He was making a great living. I like the freedom from going one job to the other, but I loved helping people. I loved the freedom that I had to be on my own in the road and being able to do that. Whatever. But I think it just came natural, and I had to go with it because nothing was there. I was going to Middlesex County College at the same time. I was trying to put everything together and figure out, but I wanted to get out there. I wanted to get out there and make something now. I didn't want to wait. I don't want to wait for a degree. I didn't want to wait for what it called. And it worked for me. I ran with it. It was a tough 10 years. Ended up going into my own business. I actually was with him for maybe a year, and I was like, I got to get out there. And I started my business, no lie, in my mom's dining room. I started my business with a 280ZX turbo, twin turbo car. I don't know if you know anything about these cars. I had T-tops. It was a great car to go out on dates. And in the back of the hatchback, I had parts. So, just like any 20-year-old.
That's unexpected for a service individual, right?
And it wasn't, you couldn't get magnets at the time as easy as you can now in Vistaprint.
Wow.
And listen, I showed up with intent, and I showed up hard in fixing grandchildren of customers that I had when I first started, which is mind boggling, but it's amazing to have generations and go and have the stories of this guy pulled up to my house with a sports car. I had to start somewhere, and I
love that trust that your name and your company has been passed down through generations, Rob. That's incredible.
That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps you going when you have a business and you say, during COVID, I lost 85% of my company. So I had to restart. I mean, these guys that I had with me that were, I can't blame them. One guy was a gentleman was older, and I get it. I gave everybody a month off while this was all going on. I was going into homes, and people were paying me behind shower curtains. It was a tough time. For a while, I was debating on, do I have the energy to do this? I lost 85% of my business because people were going to the mailbox and getting $80,000. You got to put in 40 hours, 50 hours a week to make that kind of money back then. And they were getting it they were getting state and they were getting federal compensation. You can't blame them. So we were stuck with a couple loyal, I love to death, the people that stayed with me, and we worked hard. I kept them safe. They were inside. We had no contact with each other. I would go out, do it. I had a couple guys that were with me that needed to work.
But I would think what you're doing was essential work, and you needed to be out there, right?
And I've never done 15 jobs in one day. There was no traffic on the road. I mean, it was surreal. It was sad, but after a month of, not getting into the whole COVID, whatever, but I had it before it was even here, supposedly October. I was at the point where I couldn't leave people without refrigerators. I couldn't leave people without ovens. And by the time that I started going, the end of March, April, we were not close to the customer. People had plastic up, and then we'd go in the kitchen and we'd work on the oven, get the oven back up. It was a crazy, amazing time to be doing it, but it was tough because the energy to build back, because once the floodgates opened back up and everything opened back up for everybody, and the demand during COVID was out of control. People, but they were home.
They were home. Yes, exactly.
They were home. So we were
using it more than they ever used it before.
If we could get through that as a company, we can get through anything, and we did. I rebuilt back, and now I'm 14. I'm going on the 15th employees, which is crazy. Crazy to think I was able to do that in a short period of time, because we never skipped a beat. We we have what we built, and we were not leaving it, and we were not leaving people like we built a reputation. We built a company. And we have a lot of people depending on us, and that we just forged through it. I'm glad I did, because there was a hot second that it was too much. It was too much. It was a very difficult time, but we turned that corner, and I'm glad that we stuck it out,
And you keep moving forward. Is there something in your business now that you wish that more customers knew about, that you can help them with and provide?
Absolutely. as we get older, you start to realize how, I can't speak for everybody, your teens, your 20s, you beat yourself up and you wonder why your knee hurts. You're eating the wrong stuff. You're doing all these different things. You hit your 30s, you're raising families, you're hitting 40s, you're doing this, you're doing that. You start getting into like your late 40s, your 50s, your check engine light comes on, right? And you think about all the stuff that goes on, and we're all invincible until you get sick, or you see people around you getting sick. And I'm starting to see people get sick, and I'm getting tired of it. I mean, you could point fingers and say this, that, and the other thing, but I've never seen so much people that I felt were healthy come down with cancers, come down with
autoimmune stuff is coming up.
Everything's autoimmune. Your body's attacking your body. And here's the thing: I'll go to the majority of these houses. The boot around your front load washing machine. Did you ever look at it? Did you ever smell it? A lot of people don't realize that boot alone that has all of that. If you look at it, it gets so discolored and moldy. That boot is just one part of where that is sitting. It goes down into the whole sump and the whole, what do you call it? So the exciting thing that I've been sitting on this and thinking about this for probably the past year is I know machines inside and out. I've seen mold growing in HVAC systems, and you see a lot of Legionnaires. And this is not the scale. You could do it yourself. You could hire somebody to do it, but pay attention. I'm going to be doing a whole health division where I'll help people through a YouTube channel that I'm starting for that purpose. But I'm going to have a service part of it where we're going to do this for customers. We're going to come in, even with the home maintenance that we're doing, we'll see that way before they see it. If I come to you, I said it early in the podcast about your dishwasher. Go to your dishwasher, take out your screen and get a real good look at it. Maybe take a picture of it and send it to me.
I will.
I'll tell you right now, if it's totally where you can see through the whole screen and it's totally clean, I will be floored. Because most people
I'm already cringing at what's in my dishwasher screen.
That's great. That's the start. That's a great start, because cringe. And then when you've realized that that's sitting in there and it's getting flushed around, you think it's doing cleaning your dishes or whatever, but then it's going back into the dishes. And at the end of the cycle, your pump has a certain amount of time. Back in the day, they used to have these little metal grinders that would grind up food and just get rid of it. Nowadays, it's not as strong, and it doesn't have the blades that would cut up like a food processor and purge it and get rid of it. A lot of stuff stays inside. Even from the way your drain hose it's supposed to go up and then come down into your sink. It slopes down, and then when it tries to purge out, it goes right back into the machine. That's one little trick that people don't see. But the stuff that goes supposed to get grinded up and go out, the heaviest stuff stays down in there, and it stays down there and lives down there. And there's always water in below that where you can see the floor of your dishwasher. There's always a little amounts of water in there to keep the seals moist so they don't dry rot.
Sure.
That's another one besides the boot of the.
That sounds like bacteria and mold. Love that stuff.
Even your top load washers, where if I separated your tubs and showed you, because you're using a fabric softener, which is very gluey and it gets very gluey inside, and when you're putting too much suds in there, you would be surprised in what I would show you for that. I think personally, knowing these appliances and getting into the division that I'm going to be rolling out, it'll be a health division of immediate appliance where we're going to just zone in on that. And I'm not like making predictions that it's causing any problems for you, but listen, I have sinus problems. I have things that I have to do at my home too, as well. Like even the refrigerator underneath it, your refrigerator, you have your condenser that sucks in the dirt. Some of them up top, but it stores water. A defrosting type refrigerator, so it'll defrost and the water goes out and eventually evaporates when it gets by the compressor after a while, because it'll drip and then evaporate, and it builds up a nasty. Sometimes you see mold in them. Sometimes you see just like bacteria. It could be bacteria growing in it. And again, when I said at the beginning of the podcast, there's a fan underneath there that's sucking in air,
all that debris and hair and dust,
throwing it back over the top of the refrigerator because it has to go somewhere. So whatever it's passing through but the main things are like the boots on the moldy. Mold is like, it's mind-boggling what it could do to you. Like, it's mind-boggling how many different types of mold there are. The toxic mold, the black mold. There's all different types of mold and what they can do for autoimmune, and half the stuff people that we even in our environments it's scary. So
And if it's starting in the appliances, it can spread to other areas of the home. And spores are in the air. So by getting a handle on it, or even understanding that it's present because you've been brought in to check that out, that will help their whole environment.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it just a real quick tip for people that have front loaders and they're maybe listening to this podcast, leave the door open. Every once in a while, when you leave the door open so it can breathe, and so you can get your washer on just a little bit, a slight pitch. So usually there's a couple little holes in the back of those bellows. They're usually gray in color, some blue and GEs or whatever. And the little holes go back into the pump. So once the pump comes on, it kicks that water out. Don't let it live in there. I find socks inside there. And the little holes in the back of the bellow, you can get from a pipe cleaning store. You can get the little wire with a little brush on it. And you can put them in very easily, put them in there to make that water move so it doesn't stay in there and make mold on that rubber boot. That's a good start with the door open. And then you just take a rag, make sure I see socks get stuck in there. I see socks that are black with mold. Because it keeps them. It's stuck inside of it and it overlaps it so you don't even see it. So I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of people go into their front load washer.
Yes, these are good tips. This is important. People need to know this.
Yes.
That's great. So I know that you've been doing this in the local area for a long time. We not only work at the Jersey Shore, we live here too. Do you have any special places in Monmouth and Ocean County that you like to enjoy here in the community that you want to share?
Well, my dog loves most of them because they're all the dog trails that I take them. The beach during when Ocean Groves allows us to get down there. I grew up on the Jersey Shore, getting houses, surfing down there, partying down there. Some of the best days of my life. The communities, the way people treat one another. It's just an amazing place to live. Amazing place to work. We have a lot of stuff that we grunt at because of taxes and electric bills and all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, there's not many places that have what we have. I mean, we have so much experience to go to Philadelphia, go to museums, go to Manhattan. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. We have like I said, the Jersey Shore, the music scene, from Asbury Park, which I'm getting back into. I'll let you know when my band comes back out. I'm in a band that played for years. Right around COVID, I dismantled because there was too much going on. But some of the places down there, like Jenks, we had houses in Manasquan. It's just amazing communities. The food's incredible. It's so nice to be by the ocean. So yeah, we
I can't wait. I'll come see you play, Rob. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll let you know because we have fun stuff that we do. So
okay, good.
Try to bring the joy.
In the meantime, if people need appliance repair, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? Where can they find you?
You can find us on Facebook, Immediate Appliance. To get in touch with us is 1-800-323-3023. That's the listen. I'll pay for the first call. Let's go. I have no problem with that. Take care of you. We answer questions like if anybody ever needed something, they can always ask for me. Rob Gerrity or whatever. I'm the owner. I live, breathe, love. I love what we do. You can go to immediateappliance.com. That's where you can find us. If you have questions on, even if you want to buy a new machine or what you have, or it's very hard to not seeing something, but we're here. A lot of times, like people will call up and say, "Is it worth fixing it?" I'm in the repair business. That's where I am. If you need an appliance, I will send you to somebody. I will recommend you what I see is the best that's out there. I do have contacts that can help you. If they have to get a new appliance, but I'm all about the appliance repair because I believe
that's fantastic.
I mean, that's it. If it's something that was made yesterday, as far as I'm concerned, this is how I'm going to live with it, is better than something that's made today. That's just the way it is. And that goes for anything that I touch, like cars. It's the same thing for me as it is for you when your appliance breaks down, when my truck breaks down. Can I fix half the stuff? Yeah. Is it worth it for me to get involved with it? No. I have to find somebody trustworthy to do it. I have to go with my gut instinct and go with how I feel. And I usually go with the repair because, again, I haven't bought a new truck probably like for the company van wise in a few years because I just don't believe in it. I just don't believe in the new technology. I think it's just totally outpaced the quality. in my humble opinion. So
Well, and people who are listening today or watching today should also know that your reputation precedes you in many ways. Check out the Google reviews for Immediate Appliance. They have over 600 reviews from actual customers, and their reputation is outstanding. So definitely take a look at that. Rob responds to all the reviews himself, and he's keenly aware of every single one of those projects that he helped with.
Thank you. Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me today, Rob. It was a great conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So
right.
Is everyone ready for our giveaway? We are going to give away a $20 gift card to Spire Coffee House. They have 2 locations in Toms River. We just need you to answer a question from the episode. So I have a question I'd like to ask them. Is that okay if I put it out there, or do you have one in mind?
No, you go for it. It's your $20.
Okay. So yeah, the question that I have is, what was the type of service vehicle, Rob's first service vehicle, that he had when he started his business? So if you know that answer, we talked about it earlier in the episode, email that to me at lisa@shopjerseyshore.com, and you can put Immediate Appliance in the subject line. We will pull the winner before our next episode and announce it and get that gift card to you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. And remember to shop Jersey Shore. Bye, everybody.
Take care.